Hello aspirants and welcome again to Legacy IAS Academy. In this lecture, we will be talking about the racist, orientalist and casteist comment that is coming from USA to India. Yes, USA has done it again and they have basically passed racist comment on us Indians, in which the direct involvement is that of Peter Navarro, who is the senior counselor to the US president, that is Donald Trump. So in that regard, we will understand what has happened in reality over here, and then why were such comments made in relation to, and we will also understand the Boston Brahmins concept, which is probably the genesis of this argument. So does this hard argument, or not an argument rather, does this comment from USA, which is racist, and we'll see why it is racist, does it hold water or not, is all we are going to see. So let us understand what has really happened. So Peter Navarro, who is, as I said, is the senior counselor to Donald Trump, he has said that Brahmins are profiteering at the expense of Indian people. So this is of course a casteist comment. This is of course, since they are the, you can say Western world, we could also relate it to racism against India, and also the Oriental mindset, Orientalist comment, in the sense that the Western supremacy is clearly visible over here, wherein they are talking about the discrimination in India. So here Mr. Navarro has said that the Brahmins are profiteering at the expense of Indian people. Now does that make sense? Absolutely not. But then why is USA or its representative saying things like this? Now this comment is related to or linked to India's high tariffs and trade policies. So what is the issue going on? See, they are trying to make it about Indians, the caste in India, so on and so forth. But what is the reality of it? The reality of it is the economics of it, basically. So what is the economics of it? India has some certain amount of tariffs over USA and USA products. So that is not the only reason why USA has deficit with India. USA has deficit with India simply because India exports more to them and imports less from them. It is as simple as that. But then USA wanted to close that deficit, and to close that deficit, USA came up with reciprocatory tariffs on India to the tune of 25%. Not just that, since India is trading and importing crude oil from Russia, USA has imposed another 25% of tariffs on India's goods that are being exported to USA. Now, linked to that comes his comment, wherein they are trying to tell that India buys cheap crude oil from Russia, converts it into petroleum, and sells it to other countries and earns profit. And he means to say that it is the Brahmins who are making the profit and not the rest of the country. So why is he saying that? Why is he linking Indian Brahmins with respect to this point? That point is going to be answered in this lecture, so stay tuned. Before that, a special announcement about the new batches that are going to start. The regular batches are going to start, new regular batches are going to start from 22nd September and 16th of October, whereas the weekend batches are going to start from 4th and 25th October, wherein you will be trained by one of the best faculties in UPSC civil services examination. Now, once you enroll with us, there are multiple advantages that you get. Some of them are listed here. The most important out of that could be the one-on-one mentorship, wherein the same teachers that you saw here are going to personally mentor you in your journey for UPSC. There will be, of course, regular interactions with the educators. The maximum strength of the batch is limited to just 40 numbers. There will be daily mains answer writing practice. Now, in addition to it, there will be test series for prelims as well as mains. Now, Legacy IAS Academy follows a 360-degree approach for current affairs, wherein 1 day worth of live classes every single week are going to be conducted only on current affairs in order to take care of all your current affairs needs comprehensively. If you want to enroll with us, you can simply download our app, by scanning these QR codes, or log on to our website, that is legacyIAS.com, or call on these numbers that are mentioned here. Now let's continue and understand the context. So in the Indian context, we have our caste system, wherein the Brahmins are at the top of the caste system. They are the priestly caste. The academicians are in that. Then we have the Kshatriya caste, who are the warriors and the kings. And then we have the Vaishya caste, who are the merchants and the landowners. Basically, they include the business persons as well. Yes. And then you have the Shudras, those are commoners, peasants, servants. And then you have the untouchables, who are the Dalits, right? So this is India's caste system. Now in India, Brahmins are not traditionally the business class. The business class is actually the Vaishyas in India. Now the thing is, first of all, let's make it very clear, the comments that were passed were racist, casteist and orientalist. There is no doubt about that. Now let's keep that aside and discuss why even that statement is incorrect technically also, because Mr. Navarro basically thought that since Brahmins are at the top of the hierarchy of the caste system, they might be the topmost business persons. That is exactly why he is using that nomenclature, saying that the Brahmins are benefiting. But he is clearly misunderstanding that. Why he is clearly misunderstanding that? Because in Indian caste system, it's the Vaishya that are the business class. The Brahmins are not. The Brahmins might have a higher social hierarchy or status in the caste system, but economically they are not the topmost class or the business class as such. But then why is he saying like that? Why is he getting confused? Because of the concept of Boston Brahmin that is there. So the Boston Brahmin, basically, so Brahmins are the upper caste, the top of the hierarchy, right? So the same kind of concept was there in Boston. Boston is basically a place in USA. So these were rich, well educated and Protestant elite. Protestant is basically one of the sects of Christianity. They are Protestants. So they were the class which were rich, which were well educated, into businesses, were very wealthy people, and they lived in Boston, and they came to be known as Boston Brahmins, giving reference to India. They are generally the descendants of English colonizers. English colonizers means the Britishers. Now what are the characteristics of these Boston Brahmins? They are wealthy, right? They have proper education, etc., and they have the dominance over there. Now schools and universities, certain top schools and universities have been established by them, like Harvard, Boston, etc. They are known for their snobbery and exclusive circles. So they exclude others and have their exclusive circles. They have a different accent, dress and cultural habits as well. I hope that's clear. Now, these Boston Brahmins have produced, of course, certain leaders as well, like John Adams, T.S. Eliot, etc., so on and so forth. Now, they advocated abolitionism. Abolitionism basically talking about the separation, but at the same time, they talked about opposing the immigrants. They talked about opposing the immigrants. Here at one place they are talking about unity. This relates to unity among different people, different class, etc. people. So they at times they have advocated that, but at the same time in practice they were against the immigrations that were happening. They also fought for the dominance of preserving this Boston class which was there from any demographic change. So how can a demographic change happen? Let's say there are 100 people, 70 of them are Boston Brahmins. If more people keep on migrating inside, there might be a possibility that there will be 200 people, out of which only 19 will be Boston Brahmin and remaining 110 would be non-Boston Brahmin. Thus the change in demography. That is why they were against the immigration as well, in order to preserve their dominance. Now, what is the criticism of them? The criticism is they were quite insulatory as compared to the Indian caste system's endogamy. Insulatory means they insulated themselves with others. So the amount of insulation that is there in Indian caste system, the Boston Brahmins had even more insulation of them with respect to others. They are also criticized as a dull class. So they are elitist, however, they are quite dull and considered to be quite boring. In fact, T.S. Eliot, who is a poet, has described them as rich but lifeless class. Now, this is the class which was with respect to wealth at the highest order and known as Boston Brahmins. So, taking cue from that nomenclature, Mr. Navarro has said that the Indian Brahmins, that means he probably mean to say that the Indian business persons are the ones who are getting profited, but at the same time he is doing two wrong things. One, the fact that he is clearly incorrect over here, and the other is he is being racist, casteist and orientalist in nature. So this is all about the comment that USA has passed on India. Thank you.